So we got more potential canceled plans for another Star Wars TV show, another Star Wars character, and that is Boba Fett. And me personally, I didn't really like the Book of Boba Fett. I think it was possibly one of the worst written shows outside of Acolyte and Acolyte was the absolute worst. The tip of the top absolute worst. I'd rather watch Book of Boba Fett again and again over watching Acolyte again. But the Book of Boba Fett is a pretty bad TV show. If you guys watched it, it's just the writing is all over the place. It's just terrible. Now, this whole thing came to a head because Tamora Morrison himself said that he hasn't had any role in new Grogu in Mando movie or Mando and Grogu movie. Also, he has not been contacted for a return of another season. Now, this could be one of those big Marvel-esque throw-offs where, he definitely appears in the movie or will eventually show up in the movie in some way, shape, or form, or he's just actually not getting any of this information. But overall, I can say that it's not his fault that Book of Boba Fett failed. He did the best he can with his character. And I hope to see Tamora Morrison in more roles later on, hopefully a more live-action Clone Wars kind of series where we can actually see live-action clones again. That was really cool, like we saw in the Ahsoka TV show. But overall, it really wasn't his fault why the show failed. He actually did the best he could with this role, and I know he is a good actor, so it wasn't on that. It was just he's another victim of bad writing and the incompetence that's been going on over at Disney right now. But there seems to be a turning of a new leaf. Because now, not only is the Acolyte TV show canceled, but now potentially Book of Boba Fett, which were two pretty bad shows. I mean, if you think about it, they were just really bad. And we haven't had Obi-Wan Season 2. We haven't heard anything about that. Maybe it's just a turn of a new leaf. Maybe Disney's finally starting to see that just sinking money into the project is not going to bring it views. What actually is going to bring it views are good writing, good acting, everything else in between that makes a good show, especially the good writing and a good story part. Also the choreography, all that stuff. Which Acolyte did get down. The choreography was pretty great in that show. But my overall thoughts and sentiments towards these cancelizations that this is a good thing. I mean, I feel like a lot of people just think I hated Acolyte out of all the shows. That's actually not the case. I hated a lot of the new Star Wars that's been dropping recently. And I think that this is just a nice reset for Star Wars in general. Like, we need this to happen. We need to just have a couple shows here and then maybe take a whole year off of any kind of Star Wars content and then get back and hire true fans of Star Wars. We actually get people in there who actually care about the IP, and then we can move on from there. Then we can actually get back to what Star Wars is meant to be. And honestly, I think that something like Mandalorian was a great entry into Star Wars. Mandalorian felt like Star Wars. It felt great. I mean, all the way up to season 3, it felt great, but it felt great. It was nice to see a new character in Star Wars that, was a actual good character. He wasn't a just hashed in through in half-baked piece of crap. And Mando actually had some good story and good writing behind him as well to back that up. Also too, with Boba Fett, I would love to see him make a return later on, but obviously under different circumstances. Maybe even keep some of the elements of the Boba Fett TV show, but where he's a crime syndicate, he's now running a whole thing. But let's do it better this time. Let's actually write in actual good storytelling behind it. I actually can create a whole video about that later on, but obviously I'm not in the right headspace right now. I just got out of the gym. I've been working out all day and I'm pretty tired, but I can write a whole thing about how you can actually fix the Book of Boba Fett. I'll have to add that to the projects list. I'm already swamped at a bunch of projects. I honestly don't want to add any more onto myself. I'm still learning how to animate too as well, so be on the lookout for one of those as well. But also, in terms of my thoughts towards the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's coming out in 2026, I'm pretty excited for it. I'd like to see the end of the Mandalorian and Grogu series. I mean, at this point, it's almost been nearly, like 8 years? I mean, that's a long time. So I can't wait to see the end of that. I honestly think it's going to be a great ending. Hopefully they write it out and he goes out with a bang. But anyway, that's all I got for today's video. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I will have a lore video dropping tomorrow. I've just been really busy recently, so I've just been trying to cover the news, especially with all the cancelizations that's been going on. Also, too, Disney just seems to be having a nice little shift. So personally, I think that this new cancellation trend that's going on right now is kind of good for Star Wars overall. But anyway, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. May the Force be with you. And as always, have a great rest of your day.
You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.